Hi everybody, and welcome back to Small Caliber Arms Review. I'm Richard, and today we have a Kriss Vector. Now this is a 22. Kriss is a company from Switzerland, but this is from Kriss USA, made here in the United States. And it's a really cool, really innovative firearm. You'll notice right now the trigger is up here and the barrel is right there. So the barrel, the bore axis is actually kind of in line with your fire hand, your trigger finger there, which prevents a lot of muzzle rise. Now on the larger calibers, this being a 22 is the smaller one, but the larger calibers, the 9mm and 45s, and I think 10mm also, the bolt has a really unique way of operating in this gun. It actually comes back and goes down in here a little bit, and that helps fight some of that muzzle rise on there, as well as having a low bore axis. It's really pretty cool. This Kriss originally makes guns for police and military in Switzerland, and this allows you to be able to get on target and stay on target even after firing multiple shots or multiple targets. You're able to get right back on your sight picture, right back on it where you need it. Let's take this thing apart and look at it and see how it comes apart, how you got to clean it and everything, and I'll try to show you the differences between this and the larger caliber Kriss Vectors. All right, this is a super easy firearm to take down. You really don't need any tools. The best thing you can do is get you a punch or even this little Allen wrench I've got here, and I'll show you why. To take it down, you've got some retaining pins right here, or some takedown pins. All you got to do is push those up a little bit. Now on the 22 version, you're only going to need to take out this one, and this one. So push them up a little bit, and they've got a little groove on them so you can get your fingernail in there and grab a hold of it and pull it out. They pull out pretty easy. They have a little spring retention on the end right there. Get all three of those pulled out, and then all you got to do is pull the upper right off the lower. We'll set that to the side. The only other thing you got to do on here if you're going to take it apart to clean it is, this is your bolt right here. This is your charging handle. So your charging handle pulls it back, slides back and forth in there. Now, like I said, the 22 is a little different animal than the larger caliber ones, because the larger caliber ones, the bolt actually curves and goes down in here, and that force of that going down helps keep that muzzle rise to a minimum. All right, to take it down any farther than this, you're going to push on the back of this spring plate here, and you'll see two pins right there. They'll move in. Once you get them there, all you got to do is push it, and they push really easy. Once you get it lined up, there you go, and fall right out the other side. And then go ahead and let that spring plate loose. There's your guide rod and your recoil spring. Set that to the side, and then you can take your bolt, pull it right out of the back. Easy to clean everything up. Your firing pin's right in there. Now on this one, your hammer is right up in here, actually at the top of the bolt. So it swings downward and hits the firing pin. Hits the firing pin right there, and it comes out and sets off the round. This is rim fire. It is 22. 22 is notoriously dirty, but this is a pretty easy gun to get in there and clean it up. Lubricate the spots where it's going to ride on the rails. Any spots you see where there's a little bit of wear, make sure you put a little bit of lubricant on there. Clean all the carbon fouling off of it. Any carbon on the face of the bolt. Anything around the ejector, or extractor, I'm sorry. Your ejector actually sits, well, let's pull the magazine out. Your ejector actually sits right down in here. You can see that little pin sticking up there. Anyways, yes, I did clear it. I knew it was clear before I did that. But anyways, putting it back together is really a piece of cake. Just take your bolt, slide it right back on your two rails in there. Take your spring plate and spring. There is a hole in the back of the bolt. Right there is where your spring is going to go in there. So you can put that right in there. There's a hole in your spring plate where your guide rod goes in there, and push that in, being careful not to get your spring in a bind there. Push that back in, slide it right on the rails. Line your holes up as close to the front of the firearm as you can, and take your two pins, push them right back in there. They go in really easy, and they're retained. Once you let off of it, they're kind of retained right in there so they won't come out. The back side here where you push the pins through is a little bit wider because the pins are narrower on the end. And then putting the top back on there, just line everything right back up, push it straight up in there, and take your pins and push them right back in. Now on the larger ones, you would have to take this pin off too, and this little pocket or compartment right in here is where your bolt would ride on the larger caliber ones. So it'll actually curve and go down inside this here. The 22, that section's not needed because, well, the bolt doesn't do that on these. Pop everything back together. Go ahead and function check it. Now to charge it, your handle folds out there so you can get a good grip on it. Grab it, pull it back. Safety's right here on the side. And it is a rim fire. Don't dry fire it too much because you don't want to damage the face of the bolt there. But all you got to do is load your magazine up and pop it back in there. Your mag release is right here on the side. You can just pop it right out. This is a 10-round magazine. I don't know. I do believe they do make larger magazines for it, and they're going to be an extended magazine that's going to come out a little bit farther. These are a proprietary magazine, so you're not going to take another one from another manufacturer and put it in there. It has to be the Kriss Vector magazines. I don't know if there's any aftermarket companies that make them, but we're going to get this thing loaded up. We're going to throw some Winchester 22 long rifle in here, 1280 feet per second, hollow point copper plated, and get it out on the range and see how it does. All right, now loading the magazine is a piece of cake. It does have last round hold open. That's what this little pin is right here. When that last round comes up, this will activate the mechanism in there that'll hold the bolt open. So loading it is a piece of cake. It's just like, you know, a regular 22. Just push it in, push it back, and push on. All right, now that we're out here on the range with the Kriss Vector, I've got the magazine loaded with 10 rounds of the Winchester white box. This is a bulk pack, 333 rounds, 36 grain, 1280 feet per second, hollow point, copper plated. I also got a few of the leftover Winchester M22s. These were a little bit faster, I think. No, they're actually a little bit slower. These are 1255 feet per second. I only got a few left. We'll try some of them in there too and see how it does. Let's get the eyes and ears on, give this thing a shot at the 7-yard target. One of the things I wanted to point out about this is, if you notice, this one's just got the flip up sights on it. Now you can put whatever kind of optic you want on there. There's plenty of rail on there to mount anything. This is a pistol. It only has a 6.5-inch barrel on it. But if you'll notice the top of the sight to the bore axis, that is 3.5 inches. So that is really going to throw you off at different ranges. So this is going to be kind of a point and shoot type thing. Unless you get it zeroed in at a distance you want and leave it there, it's going to be wildly different at closer and farther distances. But we're going to get it loaded up, get the eyes and ears on, give it a few shots. All right, we're going to get it charged up. All you do is pull the handle out, grab it close to the gun, pull it back, let it fly. It's a really short stroke on this thing, so, you know, it's a pistol. We'll give it a try anyways. 7 yards, see how it does for accuracy first. All right, there's 5 shots. Let's go up there and take a look at that real quick. Okay, there's my 5-shot group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, like I said, this is only 7 yards, but there's a difference of 3.5 inches from the center of the bore to the sights. So this is a loaner gun. It is not mine. They obviously have it set for pretty close distances. And I've got the other target set up there with the silhouette target on it. That's at 15 yards. Let's go ahead and give it a few shots at that. Now it does have an ambidextrous safety on it, on this side or that side. You grab it with your thumb. If you've got your trigger finger out of the trigger guard, it kind of touches the top of my finger anyways. I guess I could move my finger down as long as I don't have it in there till I'm ready, but it's not bad. The bolt handle, the charging handle, does not reciprocate on it, so you don't have to worry about that hitting your other hand, and you've got a grip right there. Now it's a pistol. This is a pistol stabilizing brace that's on here. It's meant to go around your arm and kind of steady it. But if you put your arm in there, if you undo that Velcro strap and put your arm in there where it's supposed to go, there is no possible way, at least not that I can do, to get this thing lined up with my sights to be able to see through there. Well, it's strapped to my wrist like that. My arm just doesn't bend that way, and yours probably doesn't either. So yes, I am shouldering it. Let's give it a try at the 15-yard target, silhouette target. We're going to go for center mass first with these 5 rounds. Okay, last round hold open on it. You can see down in there, there's a massive ejection port on this thing, but the bolt is locked open. You can see down in the barrel, and there is nothing in there. Let's go take a look at those 5 shots at center mass and see how they did. Okay, I was aiming right there at the center mass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hit a little bit high. So you can see my sight picture and my actually point of impact is quite a bit different. There is a point where they cross, and it looks to me like it's set at about the 7-yard range is where they cross at. But still, that's effective. If you aim for center mass, you're gonna hit right there in the middle of the chest. That would do some damage. All right, your mag release, you got your hand right there. Your mag release is right there, so you can pop it in with your thumb, grab the magazine, pull it right out of the bottom. We're gonna go ahead and get 10 more rounds of the Winchester loaded up in there. And we'll see how it does for speed. We'll run them kind of fast at the 15-yard target. I know that I'm going to be hitting kind of high on there, so I guess I could aim a little bit lower to compensate for that. But we're just going to see if it'll run fast. Okay, got the magazine loaded up. Just pop it right in there, slap it on the bottom a little bit, and there is a bolt release over here. We can just go ahead and hit that button and pop it right into place. Couple little 5-shot groups there, and it looks like I aimed a little bit lower, and it looks like I hit right in the center mass area. We'll go ahead and get another magazine loaded up. That went way too quick. Now this is a loaner gun. It is not mine. I don't know if it came with more than 1 magazine. I've only got 1 with it right now, but it's gonna be about a 650 is the MSRP on this gun, and it's not terrible. It's not a rifle. It is a pistol. They do make it in a rifle version too, but to tell you the truth, I think the pistol version looks a little cooler. I believe you can get it in an S.B.R. also, but that's going to cost you a little bit more because you're going to have the $200 tax stamp to be able to own an S.B.R. And there's my 10 rounds in there. All right, I've got 10 more rounds of the Winchester loaded up in there, the 1,280 feet per second Winchesters, and we're gonna go ahead and give this thing 10 rapid fire headshots anyways. Seems to function just as it should. As quick as I can pull the trigger, it's putting them out there. Just wish I had many more magazines, or at least bigger magazines. All right, the Winchester M22s, these are a black copper plated is what they call it. It's slightly less velocity than the Winchester white box stuff there. These are a lead round nose, 1,255 feet per second. This gun seemed to run really smooth with the 1280s. There's probably not going to be a whole lot of difference between the 1280s and the 1255s, but we'll give it a try. I want to try a little bit for accuracy on that 7-yard target again, and I want to take my time and feel the trigger in it because I didn't notice anything about the trigger, so that means it wasn't anything funky, but we'll give it a try anyways. It seems like it's a really smooth trigger. I don't notice any grittiness in it, any sloppiness in it or anything. It seems like it's a pretty steady, even pull, and then it fires. And really, this thing is dialed in right at the 7-yard mark because those 5 shots are a really good little group there. Now, could you shoot this thing 100 yards? Absolutely, you could. And the nice thing about this is with that having that big rail on top of it like there, you've got a much larger sight radius than you do if you had it in a smaller handheld pistol. You know, with a 6.5-inch barrel, you probably only get, you know, a 8-inch, somewhere around there, sight radius. So it would probably do okay at 100 yards too. But it's not sighted in for it, and I'm not going to change any of the sight settings on it. I'm going to leave it just where the owner has it set. Apparently he likes it like that, and for close-up work, this will do it. All right, now one of the things I did notice is when I've got my hand on here, I've got my thumb right on that bolt release or bolt lock, and as it kicks that last round up with my thumb there, it actually pops out on my thumb just a little bit and lets me know, hey, it is empty. That's it, the bolt is locked open. It's ready to reload and shoot again. Pretty nice little gun, runs really smooth, and I think you really can tell the difference with that bore axis being so low. I do not feel any muzzle rise whatsoever, and you shouldn't. That's the way it's designed, to come straight back at you. And man, I tell you the truth, it feels really great. I sure would like to try it in some of the larger calibers, especially the 45. Of course, 9mm is a lot cheaper to shoot, but I'd like to feel what it's like with the 45s in it. I'm going to go ahead and finish off these last, looks like I got 7 rounds of the M22s left. I'm going to put them in there, get rid of them. All right, last 7 rounds of the M22s. See how they do. That was it. That was the 7 rounds of that. I do have a whole bunch more of the Winchester white box stuff, and I may come out here and get rid of those too. Who knows? But anyways, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at the Kriss Vector, the 22 caliber version of it. It's really a cool little firearm. I like it. It's pretty neat. It is a direct blowback design. It is not you know, delayed blowback or anything. So it doesn't have the cool feature that Kriss designed in the bigger calibers, where the bolt actually curves down to fight against the recoil. But it's a pretty good shooting little gun. Even though it's a 22, they're fun. They're a lot less expensive, and you know, it's cool looking. If you want to do some tactical plinking, this would be a good choice for it. You know, get out there, do your firing, and check around you and everything. But it's cool. It's a nice little gun. I enjoy it. Like I said, I never liked the pistol braces like that. They do have different kinds you can put on there, but it's still a cool little firearm. Anyways, if you could, hit this button up here to check out some of my other videos. Hit this button right here to subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks for taking a look at the Kriss Vector 22.